his name. Well, he and his coworkers should have given their cards to me. I do end up with a lot of cards that way, but also it lets me know and helps me to keep track. It's important to pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you might miss something important. And why is it that all of my friends and family missed important things? Because they ignored me for the last 7 years. Well, pretty much since 2015, October 18th of 2015 to be precise. When I hurt my back, I was no longer able to be, well, that guy that everybody called on because he was the only one that would come through. When I hurt my back, that all changed. I was no longer a human being. I was just a paperweight, a burden. And people treat me that way, like I am a burden because I exist. Because I'm not able to do the things that I did before, that I am a burden. That because I need help, I am a burden. That because I ask for help, I am some sort of a terrible person. Well, that simply ain't the case. Anyway, I gotta try to find some paperwork so I can go down and get my vehicle legal, hopefully today. I don't want to be stuck driving around illegally all weekend, especially with these officers the way that they are. Now, I'm in Fred Meyer's, right outside of here, and I was informed that they do have security cameras that point that direction. The officer should have come in here and taken a look at the security cameras. I let him know what she was doing, that she was beating on my vehicle, that she was screaming at me. And she was, of course, what you do after that, play victim. The thing's recorded. But did that officer try to look at the recordings? No, he did not. Did he try to look at the recordings here? No, he did not. So Caleb is a witness to not just my situation, but also multiple situations with that lady. So is Scott Scudder, but I'm not sure if anybody's going to listen to him because of his history. The two people I'm hoping to see here today, one of them is Jared, and he said they've got a different HR guy, so he's going to have to talk to him and see if they can still dig up security cameras from all the way back then. This is something the officer should have done that very first day. Instead, what happened? Well, Molly tried breaking into the building here after scaring the hell out of a girl who was just trying to get into her car. And then she was screaming and shouting and hooting and hollering at the officer. What did the officer do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. See, that's the problem. These situations with Molly happened on multiple occasions. And of course, we're trying to do the right thing. I got kicked in the teeth. A lot of these people are a lot better off than I am. They don't have to worry about the problems that I do. They don't have to worry about the assistance that I do. Each and every one of them has, well, somebody in place to help them in some way. How true is that? It's not. Most of us out here on the streets are out here because we got nobody. Now, I'm not just going to wander around the store looking for Caleb. I'm also looking for Jared Scudder. I don't know if he's working today. Now, the rest of the Scudder family, I don't hate them in the least bit. They were witnesses to the situation with Molly. And those officers did not deal with the situation correctly, properly, or otherwise. And I got Dallas and a couple of his friends were messaging with me during that situation. And with me putting it on YouTube, I am giving them the easiest access ever to these things. But then they don't want to do their jobs at that point in time. They want to allow the situation to get worse for the victim. That victim being me, obviously. And then I'm sent to a bunch of places that tell me that it's not their job to look at it or turn it in or anything like that. It's not their job to actually advocate for the victim. I have to provide myself this magic environment where I can sit down with all of this magic money you think I have, all these billions of dollars in donations that I apparently received. No, I gotta live on $800 a month in an area that costs about $3,000 a month just to have a roof over your head. So yeah, having to try to turn in crimes anywhere that I go, this is how it is. The cops blow us off, send us to mental health. The mental health people make money. The cops make money. And of course, you're still victimized until you have a mental breakdown. And then they get to arrest you for having a mental breakdown. For me, having to record everything, and oftentimes the situation comes down to my inability to record. Like, I need help. I've got all of these recordings. I need to turn them in. I need one of these people to actually do the job that they're hired to do. Every single mandated reporter that I've gone to has made every excuse to look the other way. They want to use the quick 5-minute whatever Google says. Well, Google tells you that the Second Amendment is a hunting law. Are you sure you want to listen to Google? You ask any gun-toting, meat-eating American what the Second Amendment is for, they'll tell you it's for shooting tyrants. It ain't for dinner getting. We have a Second Amendment for a reason. Now, I choose not to own firearms, nor to keep firearms. The reason I choose not to keep firearms is because they can be used as an excuse. When you're out here, if you've got a little teeny tiny pocket knife, cops will pretend that you were trying to wield it at them. If you got a cane, they'll pretend it's a weapon. And they'll use that as an excuse to harm you. Take a look at the situation with Samuel Leon Lawrence IV, Boulder, Colorado. Yes, I absolutely speak out about how horribly this man was treated. It is horrible. But I also speak out about the false narrative and his treatment of me. He may have been victimized, but the way that he treated the other victims is not acceptable. Not under any circumstances. The fact that I have been, rather than police doing their jobs, they send me around to a bunch of the services that don't do anything. They tell you they can't do anything. They want you to fill out a bunch of paperwork to get into housing. And you fill out all the paperwork on housing, and they want to make excuses over and over again. Yeah, we're still going to keep on pushing the same housing paperwork. Well, hold on a second. While we're pushing the housing paperwork, and you only have time 1 hour every week, and I'm having to go there every week, and I have to spend 2 hours there, I got to see a therapist and a caseworker, and the caseworker says it's not her job to, well, help me in the reason that I'm even sent there to begin with, which is I'm being abused, I'm an at-risk adult, I cannot take care of myself, and I'm being victimized by law enforcement as well as the local community. People hate homeless. It's a fact. I didn't wake up in the morning and go, hey, I would like to be the person that everybody in America blames for their problems. But regardless of what I wanted, I still woke up homeless this morning. I still have to worry about every Karen in America seeing me walking down the street and assuming that I must be up to no good. If she calls it in, I get messed with. If I call it in, when she's committing an actual crime against me, I get messed with.
How's it going?
Hey, Mike. Hey, is Jared working today or Caleb?
Couldn't tell you. Caleb's here, but I. You need to talk to him?
Yes, sir. Hey, Amber.
me. Thank you. I have something to look for. He's on his lunch break.
All right, I can be patient. I got to do shopping anyway. All right. Sure, that is a nice backpack you got there. The problem that we got here in America is that people just don't want to get involved, not unless it's drama, mayhem, and cruelty. You get to see how Natalie and her friends and family, rather than going to the police first, well, I went to the police first. It just didn't matter. So that's the problem. A male is told, oh, well, are you sure you're not thinking about it the wrong way? The best comparison I can make is when you've been raped and you got to go in and talk to a cop and you got to go talk to them alone. And they want to ask you questions like, are you sure you didn't ask for it a little bit? Are you sure you didn't do something that may have led him to believe it was something you wanted? No. If that was the case, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Yeah, no, things are good. That's good.
The other thing is, with these officers pretending like I'm trying to kill myself, no. If I was trying to kill myself, I would not go to the police for that. I'd go to Fred Meyer's. I'd walk my happy posterior over to the Drano section. That works. Of course, if you're really desperate, one thing that's been used in prisons is people shoving toilet paper down their throats. The problem is the cops, when you're a disabled homeless man, they literally go out of their way to rephrase everything that you say into something that it isn't. This is never acceptable, and this is why somebody needs to go in with the victim, especially if the victim is male, especially if the victim is homeless. Many of the other people who wanted to promise they would help, and then after wasting my time, they wanted to throw it in my face that nobody helped them when they went through something similar. Really? What did they go through that was similar? Oh yeah, and did their friend end up dead? Are they all over the news to this day? Do people make stuff about them to this day? Do they have to speak up on YouTube in order to hopefully get heard so that it's at least documented? I can't possibly write all of this down. And besides that, obviously, people hear things wrong or they reinterpret them into whatever they want it to be. based on their assumptions. Now, this doesn't really thump around with you theologists very much, but psychologists, well, they know all about that. And that's one of the important things about making sure that an individual gets all of the information first before making a decision. When we're sent to people who are friends of our predators and we're supposed to hope that they're going to make the right decisions, we also have to count on the fact that they probably won't. That's why I record. I have to depend on others because of my disabilities and the assumptions of my disabilities, as well as abuse over my disabilities. See, when you're homeless, nobody cares, and that's what the evidence shows. When you're homeless, nobody cares. You guys might say, oh, well, these people said they'd do this, and those people said they'd do that. What did they say that they would do, and what did they actually do? What was the help that I needed versus what was the help that they provided? Did they speak up about any of the things that they took part in? And if so, where did they speak up? Good questions. I'm in here trying to do the cop's job. I've already spoken with Caleb on probably about 24 occasions. I recorded a few of his stories about her. That's the problem with having a situation like what happened with Waylon Lotham, is that these officers don't care what actually happened. When they look my name up, well, they get to pretend I'm some sort of a monster because all cops, all of them, think that they get to be judge, jury, and executioner. If there's somebody who cares, they're less likely to get away with pulling the BS that they pull. For me, I need to be able to turn in these crimes. But the problem is that the crimes committed against me also prevent me from having access to the resources to turn in these crimes. People always want to use location as an excuse. Well, location is not a valid excuse, and I've been trying to explain that. This is just an excuse. If my predators can turn in any little thing that I say and pretend that I'm threatening to kill them from halfway across the country, but I can't turn in people who are literally assaulting me in the very county that I'm in, the very state that I'm in, the very jurisdiction that I'm in, there's a major issue. If I'm forced to travel elsewhere to try to turn in my predators, that is a major issue. After Natalie Bollinger got her brains splattered all over Colorado, well, people are not very nice. Meanwhile, my friends wanted to ignore the abuse that I was going through because of that for a whole year before Natalie was killed. A whole year. And here I am, having to do the cops' jobs for them yet again because they are lazy and inept. I'm being forced to go to police officers who committed felonies. At this point, they are felonies because they are rampant and in excess. I am being forced into public, being forced to do these things in public that are not appropriate to do in public. Being forced to speak about rape and murder in public is not something that people want to hear. They don't want to go to McDonald's and hear that. Bless you. Bless you. They don't want to go to the grocery store and hear that. They don't want to go to the library and hear that. That's something that a lot of folks don't get either. They think I believe all these people are evil and they're all after my Lucky Charms or some crazy crap like that. I'm like, no, this isn't some alien conspiracy. This is missing people. Natalie Bollinger for surely was missing, and Natalie Bollinger for surely got a bullet through her head. Matter of fact, in specific, she got a 9mm through her head. For boyfriends, 9mm Glock 19. People in the grocery store don't want to hear that. But you know what? The cops don't want to hear it either. The cops do everything that they can to make us feel as uncomfortable as possible. And the thing is, with the number of cops that I'd had to deal with over abuse that I've endured, for them just to ignore it, for them not to do their jobs, it's just phenomenally stupid. Also, how am I supposed to trust going to police officers when I, here in Tillamook, Oregon, at Safeway, filmed a 14-year-old girl on this very YouTube channel, filmed a 14-year-old girl being assaulted by a sheriff's deputy. And I tried to turn it in then and there. But this is Naziville. This place is full of KKK and hate mongers. A bunch of people who want to call themselves Republicans. They're not Republicans. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. That's like all the Nazis joining the Jewish party and saying, oh, we're Jewish now. Really? Just because you say you're Jewish? That's kind of like sinners going, oh, I'm a believer in Christ. And then you go out and sin every day. Well, I don't believe you're a believer in Christ. And I got to deal with that too. People who believe that religion trumps the law, and then the law trumps religion, and they bounce back and forth between whichever one is more convenient for them. Kind of like people bounce back and forth between Leviticus and Romans. Man, take your pick. You're going to pick one set of rules for you and another set of rules for another. Well, that is not only judging, but passing judgment. Now you notice, I was harmed repeatedly for trying to turn in my predators, for trying to get help. And that's horrible. For you to follow the guidelines to the best of your ability to turn in these predators, you're denied that right because you're a male, and then they get to play victim after. My entire YouTube is devoted to, well, of course, protecting the victims, all of the victims. Not just the women, not just the children. I've been involved in trying to help find missing people for a lot of years. When my little sister disappeared back in 2012, that was scary. But you know what? I did what a brother's supposed to do, and I went looking for my little sister to try to make sure she was safe. Make sure nothing horrible had happened to her. She got beaten up by her husband, I guess. And she left. Thank goodness she didn't end up dead. She did not end up a statistic. The fact that the Bollingers and their friends and family were allowed to continue this stuff after Natalie's death, and nobody did a thing about it, that's just horrible. The fact that there's so much evidence that people did see it and did absolutely nothing, and to this day there's evidence that people have seen it and done absolutely nothing. How horrible you people are for this. I suppose I'll just get a coffee and call that good. Caleb is on lunch, and Jared is not currently here. There's a lady behind me who looks like Molly. So I am for surely walking the other way, even though it's the wrong aisle. I don't want to be anywhere near her, and she's not supposed to be in Fred Meyer's. A lot of folks want to complain about their safety with my recordings. What about my safety? What about the fact that these predators get away with whatever they want? And if I don't record it, they call me mentally ill and get to pretend it never happened. For me to be continually sent to the places I'm trying to turn in is not okay. Now, obviously, officers on repeated occasions with Molly should have checked the security cameras, should have spoken with the witnesses. But no, they were busy trying to look the other way, and it turned into months of terror for myself and a lot of other homeless people. The cops didn't want to deal with it. That's what it comes down to. The cops didn't want to deal with it, and a lot of other people got hurt. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Mary.
Enter the number of bags you wish to purchase. Then press down or press the no bags.
This dollar bill works.
Okay.
Yep, sure can.
No bags. Card.
System processing. Swipe or insert card and follow instructions from
I can get one card.
Remember to take your receipt. Remove all purchase items.
I'm gonna. Let me check it on here, see how much I got. anyway, it's important to record everything and to save the recordings. The lady who was going to help me, she made a lot of promises to get me to do what she wanted me to do. And then once I did what she wanted, she tried to pull the "I'm going to establish control over every aspect of your life" bullshit. And then she realized I was not going to be able to successfully bow down to her every will and command. You need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah, there's a lot of things I need to do. I'm well aware of that. However, if you're going to have me invest everything into something that's a bad fucking idea, and I told you it was a bad fucking idea, and then you're going to go out of your way to completely fuck me over by not keeping your word. The thing is, you knew I was disabled from the start. The things that you told me and that you promised are legally binding. I recorded it. For so many people to have given me false promises and false hope is horrible. We gotta... Oh, come on now. There we go. Let's see. Hide user on this channel. Blam. So simple. I can deal with the trolls on this channel. They're easy to get rid of. So easy. In real life, we gotta go to our fucking predators for help. That's not so easy. For all these crimes, I gotta run around and try to find a place to do it. Meanwhile, I don't have those resources because of crimes that were committed against me and the desperate things I had to do to try to turn those fucking crimes in. This is not fucking okay. The police repeatedly not doing their jobs has resulted in a lot of hell for a lot of people. And then, of course, they want to tell everybody that we're the bad guys. We're the fucking bad guys. We're the bad guys. We don't have friends or family who are going to help us with this, okay? That's as simple as it is. We wouldn't be out here if our friends and family were good fucking people. Those who are out here addicted to drugs would not be out here addicted to drugs if their families were good fucking people. Coming from a quote-unquote picturesque family, that just means somebody's lying to you. See, everybody wants to try to put on this performance of perfection. And then they want people to feel sorry for them because they have to put on that performance of perfection or people won't like them. And then when you don't put on your performance of perfection, well, they don't like you either. So what the fuck are they bitching about? Goddamn thing. Did I lose it too? Oh, there it is. Make sure my engine doesn't overheat. Now I gotta get into my vehicle and see if I have the stuff to complete what it is that lady promised me that she'd do if I basically handed over every bit of control of my evidence and of my person. You know, here's the thing. If we make a deal, you keep your end, I keep my end. Anything other than that is a breach of contract. You breach our contract, I am under no obligation to keep my end of the bargain. If I kept my end of the bargain, and you did not keep yours, then you did, yes, in fact, indeed, take advantage of me. So keep that in mind.